Hello, this video is to walk through how to create an exploded view for an assembly drawing and how to add a parts list to an assembly drawing. I'm using the example that we walked through in class, this assembly that we put together. The first step for making the exploded view actually needs to happen before we even make the drawing. So the first thing you are going to do is you are going to go to our animation workspace. This is a workspace we haven't used before. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the animation timeline because it lets me see this a bit bigger and we don't need it. What we need the animation workspace for is we are creating an animation of the exploded view where we have each part of our assembly separated into independent components. We're going to use the Transform Components button right here with the arrows. We'll click on each component and we're going to move it. I want you to move them so that there is clear space between each of the components. So we will place them so that we can see the space between each piece and we can clearly see that they're individual parts. Once you have them placed right, take a good look at the angle and make sure that everything looks like a good exploded view, which really just means that we can see kind of this isometric view and we can tell that there are individual parts. However you leave this page looking is how your exploded view will look on your drawing. So if I adjust the angle to look like this is what my exploded view is going to look like, and that's not a very good exploded view. I can't clearly see where each part is. So I'm going to leave it something like that. Next step, and this would be a good place to save your work, just in case something happens. The next step is to go to our drawing options, and instead of clicking from design, we're going to click from animation. It will take a few minutes, as Fusion always does. It'll pop this up here. Make sure that your reference is a storyboard, storyboard 1. Make sure we've got your title block that you're looking for. And we'll click OK. Now it's going to create the drawing just like it normally does. But we will have our exploded view as an option to insert into the drawing. So as you can see, here's my exploded view. I'm going to go ahead and decrease that scale because it's a bit big. Oh, I went the wrong way. That's better. The exploded view gets placed on the right side of the page. Go ahead and click to place it, and then click OK. There's our exploded view. You would then place your multi-view drawings on the left side of the page. So if we kind of split it down the middle, this half's going to be our exploded view and then our parts list, and this half will be our front view, side view, isometric, top view. And you'll put dimensions on those, etc. To add our parts list is an option under tables. So I'll go to tables and click parts list. It asks for actually it just wants us to place the parts list, and it assumes that this exploded view was what we were talking about. Sometimes it will ask you which view you want the parts list for, and you will have to select a view, but it just assumed we wanted this one because it was the only one there. You can see that it automatically gave us the call-out bubbles or call-out balloons. I'm going to rearrange these a little bit because I don't like them overlapping with the shapes, but we can see that part 3 is what I called shape 3. That's my component name, whatever my component name was. That's what shows up here. It tells me I've only got one of that part. And then the material is steel, so we will go over later in the year how to change the materials of the shapes that we make so that they show up as a certain material on the parts list. And there's a description that we could have put in there, but we don't need one right now. If you want to edit what is in your parts list, you're going to double click, and then it brings up this menu. all of these columns. If I don't want description, I can go ahead and get rid of it. If I don't want material, I can go ahead and get rid of it. And then I click close. And now I have my parts list and my exploded view.